a typical stereotype associated with your job?
Sexist undertones. Yeah.
Ooh. How much does someone in the same position as you roughly make a year?
$500,000.
We're in Seattle, and we're going to be guessing what people do by asking them a couple of questions. I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd like the video and also subscribe to my channel. Feel free to play along in the comment section with us. Name and where are you from?
Madeline Hoskins, and I'm from Spokane.
How much does someone in the same position as you roughly make on a yearly basis?
Oh, 150 to 200.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Biology.
Would you say that your job's more creative or is it more analytical?
Both, but probably more creative.
Okay.
Yeah, or analytical. Actually, really hard to say.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
Perfectionist.
I'm going to assume you're a doctor of some sorts.
Yep.
Can I get one more hint so I can try to nail down what kind of doctor you are?
Let's see. I think alignment or...
Are you a dentist?
Nice.
You have wonderful teeth.
Thank
Okay.
you.
What's one thing that you greatly enjoy about being a dentist?
Working with people.
One thing that you greatly dislike about being a dentist?
Working with people. No, I'm just kidding.
Miranda, and I'm from Maple Valley, Washington.
How much does someone in the same position as you roughly make on a yearly basis?
$60,000, $70,000 a year.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Business.
Would you say that your job's more creative or is it more on the analytical side?
Analytical.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
The enforcer, rule enforcement. Definitely somebody who's very strict.
I'm going to assume you're in human resources.
No.
Go ahead and tell us what it is that you do.
I'm a property manager. So it's kind of human resources, but not, yeah.
It's one thing that you greatly dislike about your job.
You know, it's tough to be the bad guy all the time, even though it's not necessarily your fault, but you know, I sometimes have a tough time with that because I want to be everyone's friend.
My name is Judah, and I'm from Seattle, Washington.
How much does someone in the same position as you make roughly in a year?
In a year? Hold on, I'll do quick math here real quick. Hold on. 30?
If you went to university, what did you major in?
If I went to university, I'm a dropout, my man, so I don't know.
Would you say your job is more creative or analytical?
Creative.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
Oh, that's a great question. They come in thinking we're a different shop when they know they're not.
I guess it's something related to the arts.
It's close, yeah, I would consider it, yeah.
Would you say you're a graphic designer?
No.
What do you do?
I'm a barista.
What's one thing that you greatly enjoy about your job?
Just the community that I got going on. A lot of regulars come in and I love it. Just making coffee for them in the morning, and especially like I'm just learning coffee art.
Okay.
So like doing pictures like that is so much fun.
My name is Rachel. I'm from Washington.
First question is, how much does someone in the same position as you roughly make on a yearly basis?
I don't know. It depends.
Okay. Do you have a range, like a potential range?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's good. That's all right. If your job requires a university degree, what did you major in?
Oh, I think. Okay, wait. A form of psychology.
Would you say that your job's more creative or would it be more analytical?
Creative.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
Stereotype? Let's see. Probably loud. I don't know, loud and like fun.
Are you a teacher?
No.
Oh, I have no idea. You're going to have to tell us. What is it that you do?
I'm a nanny.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Kim Ford, I'm from Bellevue, Washington.
How much does someone in the same position as you roughly make on a yearly basis?
Between $150,000 to $250,000.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Probably aeronautical engineering.
Would you say that your job's more creative or is it more analytical?
More analytical.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
White male.
I'm going to guess that you're in some sort of engineering management position?
It's close. You want me to tell you?
Yes.
Pilot. Airline pilot.
Wonderful. What's the coolest place that you've ever traveled to?
Wow, gosh, that's tough. Malaysia would be great. Thailand.
Okay.
Really enjoyed those destinations.
I'm Yuri. I'm from Ukraine.
How much does someone in your position make roughly in a year?
About 125.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Like IT technologies.
Would you say that your job's more creative or is it more analytical?
It's both. It's heavy, analytical, and creative too.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
That we are playing games.
Are you a software developer?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Andrew from Ukraine.
What does someone in the same position as you roughly make in a year?
$500,000.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Nuclear power plants.
Would you say your job's more creative or is it more analytical?
Creative.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
I would say introvert.
My guess is you're in the nuclear energy business or you're a nuclear energy scientist.
Not right now.
Can you tell us what it is you do?
I work for Facebook, software engineer.
One thing that you greatly dislike about your job. Don't say something that would get you into trouble.
The pressure, you see, when you do some stuff and you almost did it, and after that it's died, so it's most terrible stuff what you can see, and I don't like. And there is a huge amount in software engineering, you can do a lot of stuff, and very huge amount of this just not fly, and this is most not exciting part.
Christine, Bellevue.
So how much does someone in the same position as you make roughly in a year?
0.
0? Okay. If you went to university, what did you major in?
Diplomacy and World Affairs.
Would you say that your job's more creative or analytical?
Probably equally both.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
That it's easy, but it's not.
My guess is going to be you're in the NGO or some sort of charity organization.
A good guess, but no.
What do you do?
Stay-at-home parent.
Wonderful. What's one thing that you greatly like about what you do?
It's great to be around for your kids growing up.
My name's David, and I live in Seattle right now. Next week, I'll be living in Pennsylvania, though.
How much does someone in the same position as you roughly make a year?
Hard to say. It's quite a range, probably around $130,000, $135,000.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Geology,
Would you say your job is more creative or analytical?
analytical.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
A privileged old white guy.
I'm going to say that you are a CEO or like a C-suite kind of job.
Well, I'm very flattered by that, but no, I'm actually an individual contributor for 25 years at a major software company. Actually, and I should take that back. Last Thursday was my last day there after a little over 25 years. My third time resigning from there, so I'm hoping this time it takes because I'm moving a long way.
One thing that you really like about your job.
The freedom and intellectual stimulus of always learning things, and then also kind of defining, figuring out my way of doing things rather than having it forced down my throat.
My name's Megan, and I live in Bellevue, Washington.
Kristen, Bellevue, Washington.
What's roughly the salary for someone who has the same position as you?
It can vary pretty wildly.
And
Like a number?
like a range?
Probably anywhere from 37 to more experience being 62.
If you went to university, what did you guys major in?
Art,
Business.
Would you say that your job's more creative or analytical?
analytical.
Analytical.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
Oh, that's a good one. That's hard because I can come up with one for the industry, but less so
Yeah.
for our particular job.
Yeah. Businesswoman, I guess, would be.
Somebody who is doing it because they don't have other talents or skills. It feels default.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Very sexist undertones.
Yeah.
Ooh, are you a secretary?
That's a sexist undertone, but no.
Is your job?
I am, what's the new title that we came up with? Something like client services administrator in the financial services industry. So we process paperwork for people to open accounts for new investments and do maintenance on that sort of stuff and work with the advisors.
Okay. One thing that you dislike about your job?
I feel like there's a stigma around the financial services industry that it's inaccessible and it's only for old white guys. And I really wish that people could realize that, you don't need to have thousands and thousands of dollars in order to be able to start trying to secure a financial future.
Yeah, exactly.
We're both pretty normal people. Neither of us are billionaires.
Okay.
No, but good to have investments.
I'm Sylvia and I'm from Germany.
Oh, wonderful.
We live in the US for 11 years now.
What's the roughly salary for someone in the same position as you?
It's around 120,000.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Mechanical engineering.
Would you say that your job's more creative or analytical?
Analytical.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
We are sometimes viewed as pariahs.
You're an engineer.
I am an engineer, but that's not what I'm working in right now.
I would say it's some sort of management-related position.
Yes.
Can you tell us exactly what it is that you do?
I'm an executive search consultant.
My name is Erica, and I'm from here in Bellevue.
How much does someone roughly make in the same position as you on a yearly basis?
70 to 80,000.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Neuroscience.
Would you say that your job's more creative or analytical?
Creative.
Typical stereotype associated with your job.
Nerdy.
I'm going to say you're a scientist of some kind related to neuroscience.
That would be correct.
What is it that you exactly do?
I'm a research scientist. I write grants and papers related to Alzheimer's disease.
What do you greatly enjoy about your job?
New advances that are made in the field are really exciting.
My name is Kuldeep, and I'm from Seattle.
How much does someone in the same position as you roughly make in a year?
250 to 200 to 250k.
If you went to university, what did you major in?
Computer engineering.
Would you say that your job's more creative or is it more analytical?
I would say both.
What's a typical stereotype associated with your job?
I'm not sure about that.
My guess is going to be that you're in computer engineering or computer science. You do something related to that?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what it is that you exactly do?
Yeah, it's software engineer.
What's one thing that you greatly dislike about your job?
There could be few like work-life balance sometimes.